So today we're going to talk about 2023, right? Our plan to really help you dominate your online presence and generate high quality leads like clockwork going into and through the new year and going forward. So in doing that, what we're going to start with is we're going to start with is a goal setting exercise, right? We're going to talk about how many leads you need to hit your target revenue goals for the year. We're going to talk about the 3 fundamentals of marketing success. We're going to talk about how to optimize your website for conversions. We're going to talk about the big picture of all kind of marketing channels online and what you should be tapping into to maximize your lead flow. Then we'll go a little bit into the latest trends that you need to focus on and help you develop a custom action plan that you can move forward with. So if you can, give me your full attention here, turn off your cell phones, turn off Facebook. If you're a roofing business owner, the next hour or so here, can really make a big impact on your business. So those of you who don't know me, my name is Jim Aline. I'm the co-founder of Roofer Marketers. I am the author of 2 books, co-author of 2 books, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors and The Best Known Roofer. I'm the marketing coach in Adam Bensman's Pitch Pro movement. We're a certified Google partner. I speak at a lot of the industry events. I'm also the host of the Roofing Success podcast. And as a marketing agency, as a digital marketing agency, this is what we do every day, all day, every day. We help roofing contractors generate more leads for their business. And we do that in 2 ways. We do that through the services that we provide, and then we do that through our education like this on these webinars and our books and things like that. The foundation of the way that we look at marketing a roofing company is focused on 3 core principles. The first core principle is to maximize the opportunity to generate a lead for your company. So, I'm a big fan of the business philosopher Jim Rohn, who passed away years ago. But one of the things that I learned from him was that you need 5 to 7 lead sources to have consistent lead flow in your business, right? So you'll always have referrals. Maybe you're knocking doors, right? Maybe you're buying some leads from somewhere. You have your website and your SEO generating leads for you. Maybe you're doing Google local services ads. You're doing pay-per-click. You have your yard signs, your wrap trucks. Maybe do some billboards, some TV, some radio, some local advertising. You sponsor the local little league baseball field, things like that. All of those are maximizing your opportunity. Then the second thing is maximizing your brand impressions. The more that people see your brand and see your company, the more likely they are to buy from you. Right? It invokes trust with those people. And so there's an old advertising rule of 7 that it was a TV kind of in television advertising, and it holds to that people need to see your brand at least 7 times to even recognize it, right? So the more times they see your brand, the more beneficial that is to you, the more they'll recognize your brand and remember you when they're looking for someone to call. The third is to maximize conversion rates. And we'll talk about this in this webinar today, in this training today, really maximizing the conversion rates of the lead flow that's coming into your business. It's kind of there's an old adage that like the company that can pay the most for a lead or a new customer will win, right? And so they do that. The companies that do that well do that because they maximize the conversion rates of the lead flow that is coming into their business. So this is interactive today. We want to talk to you guys. I see Tanner on here. I see Jonathan, has their cameras on. I'd love to see it. I love to see this. What do you guys feel? Drop it in the chat. What do you guys feel is the most challenging part, the hardest part of marketing your roofing business online? Love to hear from you guys. Most challenging part to marketing your roofing business online.
I think for me, the hardest part about marketing is understanding our lead flow, how leads are being made, like how can we maximize data that we're getting from,
Mm,
let's say, Facebook? They
yep.
have their own meta pixel stuff that dumps us a bunch of analytics or a bunch of metrics. For me,
Oh, sorry, you got muted there, Jonathan.
it's really hard for us to understand what those mean, and because we don't know what those mean, we don't know how to really utilize all this
Yeah, yeah.
data to our
So,
advantage.
so what you're saying, what I'm hearing from you is that you're doing some marketing, you're getting these analytics back, and you're getting these insights on your Google Business Profile, on your Facebook ads, and on your Facebook page, and you're like, well, there's stuff going on here, but how do I figure out what's working, what's not working? That's a great one. To the chat here, Kyle said pulling in impressions online so that he could post to Facebook, but getting those things in front of people. So maybe what I'm understanding there is not sure what you're getting out of your Facebook posts. Maybe something like that. You could tell me if that's if I'm on the right track there, Kyle. Luis,
So like posting on the website and Facebook and on social media and stuff like that. But Facebook isn't a SEO opportunity. So unless you have that audience there, it's going to be hard to get that in front of people. So how growing your Facebook without having to dump a ton of money into it is one of the things that I've been trying to work on. And just in general, getting all your content, you can make high quality content. How do you get it in front of people effectively?
Yeah, getting content in front of people. It's a challenge, right? Facebook has really pulled back on the reach that it gives, especially on a business page, right? So, you're making all this content, you're like, where, how come no one's seeing it? How do we do it? And then without spending a lot of money. That's a good point there, and it's hard to do these. Like I guess sometimes we have to define what's a lot of money, right? I think, and we'll talk about that a little bit in terms of marketing budgets and how to determine good marketing budgets and do that. Let's see here. We got Luis, making sure your marketing expenses are worthwhile. That's true, right? You want to make sure that every dollar spent, that you're creating a return on that investment. Demerick said generating quality leads that lead to sits, right? Where we seem to get a lot of prospects from online marketing that don't convert to appointments. That's a big deal, right? Like, how do you get a more high quality? How do you maybe qualify them a little bit better as you're going through? What we see a lot of times is and kind of to what people are saying here, there's so many options, right? Like, it's unclear where to put your budget. I think that's what kind of to the point of what Luis said, making sure that your marketing expenses are going in the right direction, right? Where to put your budget, and how much to budget for marketing. There's so many opportunities out there, right? You have SEO, pay-per-click, website, social, you can buy leads, you can do Facebook ads, you can, do brand awareness, you can do organic Facebook, just organic social media, you can do paid social media, Google local services ads, SEO. There are so many ways. And then there's just the good old door-to-door, right? Which is, it's not marketing per se, but it's direct sales. It's the fastest way to getting a signed contract in your roofing business, right? So, another thing that I hear a lot is that marketing is a major investment, and you want to really make sure that you're putting your dollars in the right place, right? Making sure that those dollars are put in the right place, because I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this, but you put some money into marketing and really sometimes you end up with not much to show for it, right? And so you want to make sure that you're doing that. And what I've found in this problem is that a lot of times, if you don't have a clear plan, you can really overspend on your marketing. But on the other side, what's even worse is underspending, right? So having proper expectations around what type of marketing budgets to have, what should a lead or a customer cost your roofing business, right? Having a clear understanding of that, having a clear understanding of what the long-term value of that customer is, so that you're making sure that you're budgeting properly. But even with all of these problems, there's really an opportunity, right? And that opportunity is to put together a clear plan, having goals, targets, key performance indicators that help you make those decisions on an ongoing basis as to what's working and what's not working, generating enough leads to hit your goals and grow your business, and creating a great return on your investment, right? These are the opportunities that we really have in front of us. And success in marketing is maximizing your lead flow and hitting your sales goals, right? So the first thing that we're going to talk about is setting clear goals, right? There's a great sales trainer, Brian Tracy. If anyone knows of him, drop a like here on the Instagram. Give me a heart on the Instagram. Brian Tracy is an amazing sales trainer. If you haven't heard of him, like, you read some of his books, look him up. But one of a great quote from him is, "Success is goals, all else is commentary," right? So you have to understand your goals, and looks like we didn't change the number on the slide. We're talking about goals for 2023 here, not 2021. But so not having goals is like being on a sailboat in the ocean with no wind, right? You're going to end up somewhere. Promise you, you'll end up somewhere, you'll float somewhere, but it may not be where you want to go. So having clear goals is like the wind in your sails, right? That allows you to maneuver and get yourself to the destination that you want to get to. There was a study done of Harvard graduates from 1979, and they asked them, do you have goals? Have you written them down? Do you have a plan to accomplish them? And 84% of these, overachievers, right, them. So they followed these people for years, and the results were that the 13% of the class who had goals were earning on average twice as much as the 84% who had no goals, right? It's the wind in your sails. But the 3% who had clear goals and a plan were on average earning 10 times as much as the other 97% put together, right? So not just having a goal in your mind, having a plan of action to get to those goals. So for us, we need to have a written goal with a plan, right? For all of us, we need to have a written goal with a plan. You have to understand where you want to end up, right? And if you miss your goal, right, if you miss your target, at least you could be on the board, right? Like in terms of like archery, right? Maybe you don't hit the bullseye, but maybe you're in the vicinity, right? At least you're going in the right direction. So at a very minimum, you need to set at least a 1-year goal. You break that down into quarterly goals and into monthly goals. We all are, everyone's in the roofing business. Every market that you're in, most of the markets that you're in have a roofing season, right? And so we have to change our goals based on the seasonality of our business. Right now, I am in, Minnesota. We have few inches of snow on the ground outside, and no one's putting on a roof today, right? Like in December here, it's a little bit challenging. January, February, just take it off. For a lot of times, a lot of companies just take that off. So adjusting your goals throughout the roofing season into monthly goals is very important. So the first thing that we want to look at is, what is your revenue target for the year, right? Gross revenue goal for the year. Break that down into what is that monthly. Then we're going to work that back into how many leads that it's going to take to get you to those goals. So let's do an example here. If your revenue goal for 2023 is $3 million, that would be $250,000 in gross revenue monthly. If your average job is 12,500, you need 20 jobs per month. Makes sense to everyone? Drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense to you. Simple math, right? Awesome. Simple math. So put some thought into it, right? So drop a 2 in the chat if you know your revenue goal for 2023. Drop a 2 in the chat if you've decided on that. Awesome. Lots of you. Lots of you. That's great. So now in understanding that goal, right, in understanding that path of where you want to go to, what we want to move back towards and step into is, what is your average conversion rate from caller to booked call, right, or booked job? Divide your call target by your conversion rate, and that's going to give you some great information. So if your average conversion rate from a caller to a booked job is 25%, so from new lead to job on the books, 25%, right? And you need 20 jobs per month, you have a 25% conversion rate. Now we know that we need 80 leads per month. This is a metric that is extremely important. It's an extremely important KPI in your business, to watch the lead flow on a monthly basis, right? In terms of what your closing rate is and what that's turning into in terms of jobs. So you can start to see very clearly if you're going to be on target by watching this number of leads, right? And so here's another example, right? If we have an annual revenue target of 5 million, monthly of 416, $12,000 average job, we need 35 jobs, 30% conversion rate, we need 117 leads per month to hit that. So let's say the average cost per lead over all of your marketing channels, some leads are going to be more expensive, some leads are going to be less expensive. So but your average overall, we focus on an omnipresent framework, right? Having multiple poles in the water. Maybe one month your Google ads are your Google pay-per-click is your best performing lead, but it's a little more expensive. But you're also getting some leads from Google Local Services ads, which are much less expensive. That average of all the leads coming down is going to help you overall, right? So having those multiple lines in the water helps the overall. So if your average cost per lead is $100, your budget required to hit that, right? Now you're moving backwards into a budget. That would be 117 leads, $11,700. So if anyone wants to share, drop your goal in the chat. And if you've done the math, how many leads will that take? Or, if anyone wants to just pop on and unmute, we could do the math right, kind of live here if you want to do that. So who has a revenue goal? Drop it in the chat and drop in how many leads you will need to get there monthly. This is where people get shy, right? Like, I have to express this publicly. Express it publicly, put it out there, put it out into the universe, right? Like when you put things out there, when you speak it into the universe, a lot of times it makes it real. It makes it real. Jonathan says 60 a month. Brandon, 112. Then of course, now we're going to go, right? We're going to go and adjust that, right? So depending on the market that you're in, depending on the seasonality of the business, right? That average for Jonathan might be 60 leads a month. But maybe in July, it's really 120 in July and it's 20 in February, right? There's an adjustment that you can make based on your seasonality. So Brandon, 112, same thing, right? You have your averages. So you kind of have your targets, right? And then you can adjust that seasonally. Thanks for dropping those in there, everyone. Good stuff, Roofer Insta says. All right. So now that we have an understanding of where we're going, right? We have an understanding of what we're going. We're gonna focus on updating your marketing message. There are some basic fundamentals to marketing. There's three basic fundamentals. The market, that's your who you're marketing to. Your message is the message, the communication, the conversation that you're having with those with your market. And then the media, and that's the how, and that's what someone mentioned earlier, like on Facebook and all these different channels, right? How are you getting this message out to your customer base, right? To your ideal customer base. First, we have to understand who our ideal customer is, right? Understanding who your ideal customer is extremely important. Drop a 1 in the chat if not everyone is your ideal customer. I should get a lot of ones here. I hope I get a lot of ones here. If you're on Instagram here live, like put something in the comments if you feel not everyone is your perfect customer, right? So you can't, not everyone is your perfect customer, right? So when we develop our marketing, we really want to develop our marketing in a way to speak to and resonate with our perfect customer, not our less than perfect customer. I'll be nice, right? Like, so in marketing, we call this a customer avatar. And you may have multiple customer avatars in your business, but a customer avatar is a persona of who you want to market to and how you're communicating with them. And it's a way of truly understanding that person, right? You want to truly understand their pains and frustrations, their goals and desires, their fears and implications, their dreams and aspirations. And so here we have a customer avatar of a residential roofing homeowner. And so maybe the demographics of this person, well, of course, they are a homeowner. That is a demographic, right? They're not a renter. That's part of who your customer is, right? Maybe they're 35 years of age or older, right? Maybe they're typically female, occasionally male. They're married with 2 to 3 kids. They're a head of household. They have 65,000 in annual household income or more. They're family oriented. They're reliable. These are the demographics of them, right? They're easily frustrated. They like to please people, expect the same in return. They're not handy, right? They like gardening, crafts, arts. They live in the suburbs in a nice neighborhood. They take an interest in their community. Those are the demographics. The pains and frustrations of those people is, man, their roof is leaking, right? There's shingles in their yard, right? They can't get a roofing company on the phone or to return their call. I was talking with someone yesterday, and they had been going through contractors' reviews in their market. And the biggest negative review that they could find that was consistent over and over again for not just one roofing company in their market, but many roofing companies in their market was, I called them and they didn't respond or didn't get me my estimate in a timely manner. Isn't that crazy, right? So these are the pains and frustrations that these homeowners are feeling. And if you can solve that pain or frustration or speak to that pain or frustration, you're going to be so much better off and so much more successful than the next company, right? Another pain or frustration is they need to get this issue resolved, right? They're too busy to deal with it. They're worried that the situation could cause their house further damage and become an unhealthy situation for their family. They have fears and implications, right? Their fears are that they're being ripped off or overcharged, right? I'm sure you've been at the kitchen table with 1 or 2 of these people, right? They have a fear of paying too much for something they could have gotten elsewhere for cheaper. They have a fear of having their home damaged by faulty workmanship. They have a fear that they're going to be inconvenienced and have to wait around for you. They have a fear that something may cause a disaster in their home. And they also have a fear that there's going to be a bill that they can't afford, right? The savings rate in America right now is not good. It is not good, right? And so people don't have the money and they don't save for this. And let's all be honest, right? Let's all be honest here. Instagram too, we're all going to be honest here. No one wants to buy a roof, right? They're not so excited that they've been saving. Oh man, I've been saving for years for this new roof. I'm so excited. They've saved for that bathroom remodel. They've saved for that kitchen remodel, that new deck, that landscaping, the backyard kitchen, and they're not excited about buying that roof, right? Their goals and desires are to get the roof fixed, have the issue behind them, have a well-kept home, take care of their family, right? Respect, having peace of mind, having the respect and approval of friends, family, neighbors. So we want to identify our perfect customer, right? You may have multiple customer avatars, but go through this exercise and think, okay, maybe you do metal roofing, right? So, hey, our perfect avatar, our perfect customer on a standing seam job is this, right? This is their annual income. This is their fears. These are the pains that they're feeling. Like all of that. If it's if you're in a storm restoration market, what are the demographics? What are the fears of that storm restoration customer versus a retail roofing customer, right? And in that understanding and taking time to understand them, you can then market to them in a much more efficient way. So if you can see Joe Jones through Joe Jones' eyes, then you can sell what Joe Jones buys, right? And so now we understand who we're marketing to, right? So now we're going to update our marketing message. So we want to understand why someone should do business with you versus the competition. So take some time, write this down. What benefits do you offer your target customer that will resonate with them, right? Here's some things that work in roofing, free inspections, free estimates. I know it's kind of, people say it's overplayed, but people don't buy a roof every day, right? Like, it's not like they're out there buying a roof every day. Oh man, free inspection. Now you can frame your inspection process as something different than your competitor, and why your inspection is more efficient, is more valuable. Straightforward upfront pricing, satisfaction guaranteed, great warranties, use your manufacturer's warranties, but also use workmanship warranties, right? Being local to the area. A lot of being local to the area is a great message to the people in your market. Affordable financing options, right? Because first, people don't save money. Second, they don't want to buy a roof, right? Other, things that you might be able to make the case on is same day estimates, right? Or within one business day or something like that, where you're fast, you're alleviating their pain, the pain of having to wait around for you, right? Money saving offers is something that you can make the case for. Leaving the job site squeaky clean, right? Experience, proven track record, great service, guaranteed. Making sure that you're communicating, that you'll be here if something goes wrong. Hey, it's construction. We're going to tear your roof up. We're going to rebuild it. Things might happen, but if something happens, know that we'll be here to fix it, right? That's very important in your messaging. So take some time, put together your messaging, and now we have to determine, how do we get that message to your perfect customer, right? We've identified your perfect customer. We've identified what to say to them, how to communicate with them based on their fears. Now, how do we get that message in front of them, right? The first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that our hub converts. and our hub is our website, right? All of the Facebook and social media that you do, a lot of people are going to go and look at your website. Your Google business profile, a lot of people are going to go from there and go onto your website. As people are finding out and learning about your business, they're going to go to your website, and making sure that your website is set up to convert visitors to callers is an impactful thing, right? It's a very impactful thing. Having a website is important, but there's two parts to having a website that you really need to focus on. The first is conversion rate optimization. So making sure that it's easy to find your phone number. It's amazing to me how many contractors play hide and seek with their phone number, right? Like when someone goes to your website, that's what they're looking to do. You know, a lot of times they're looking to call you. They're looking to make that phone call. You know, we track all of the leads that come through all of our clients, you know, 100 roofing contractors around the country. And most of the inbound lead flow comes through a phone call, right? 70% still comes from a phone call. So never playing hide and seek with your website, making sure that your site is mobile optimized, right? Making sure that there is trust invoked on your website, that it's not the guy in the orange hard hat with the shiny white teeth and the button-up shirt hanging a picture on a roof, right? That does not invoke trust on your website. You need to have pictures of you, your team, your customers, the jobs that you've done with your branding on it. It's extremely important to have that. We got the Roofing Machine on Instagram. Monarch Roofing just joined too. What's up, guys? How are you? And what that leads to, right, in optimizing your hub, it leads to driving down that cost per lead. It invokes more trust in your business. Speaking to your customer in the right manner, right? Knowing your customer, speaking to them in messaging that resonates with them, and then having a website and your social media and all of your marketing around, even if it's billboards, television, your trucks, like everything needs to match that messaging. And so again, on your website, making sure that it speaks to your customer avatar. Does it have authentic images of your team? Does it include video, welcome videos about your services, your customer reviews, things like that? Does it showcase your online reputation, making sure that it's showing the trust that people have had in your company and given you a great review, making sure that it's easy for them to take action, and take action in many ways, through a phone call, through a form submission, through a website chat, by texting you, getting a virtual quote. There's so many ways that you can allow them to communicate with you on your website now. Getting your basics in order, like your phone number in the upper right-hand corner, making sure that all of your credibility symbols are there. If you're GAF Master Elite, you know, showcase that. If you're OC Platinum Preferred, showcase that. If you're an ICO Craftsman Premier, showcase that, right? Are you giving people calls to action, making sure that you're asking for the business, making sure you're giving them the opportunity to engage you versus in chat and in text, leveraging marketing automation. So pull up your website. You don't have to do it right now. I know it says right now on the slide. Pull up your website. Make sure that it's built to convert. If it's not, make sure you give us a call. This is what we do every day. So in the chat here, thinking about your website, if pulling it up or not, drop a few things in the chat here that, maybe something that you could improve upon on your website. So here's an example, a case study of Hero Roofing down in Newnan, Georgia. We call Nick around our offices, we call Nick the mayor of Newnan, because he's so impactful in his community. Him and his father Todd started Hero Roofing, and they're a great example of a company that has done this, right? They have defined their perfect customer. They've developed their marketing and messaging to their perfect customer, right? They are Hero Roofing. They are your roof hero. They're here to save the day, right? They're here to they're here to solve your problem and make it as less a least stressful opportunity as possible. And in this, they have developed just an amazing roofing business and have grown exponentially year over year. And so there's someone that, you know, that and on an ongoing basis, by doing this, they have converted at a much higher rate. So they don't need as many leads. So that's what happens when you start to dial this in, right? When you start to dial in your messaging and having your customers understand the value that's in your business and connecting with that and resonating with that, there's just more trust. Your closing rates increase, right? So someone is talking earlier when we were chatting at the beginning. A lot of times we feel like that we see like it's that the one of the biggest challenges that we see facing roofing companies is unconverted leads, right? And in that, about 50 to 60% of inbound leads leave unconverted. 90% of web forms fail to convert. And web forms are not just from your website, right? You guys know that HomeAdvisor is a web form, right? Someone filled out that form on HomeAdvisor, right? And those web forms fail to convert. But a lot of that is because leads are not followed up with, and it's not even 15 minutes, it's 5 minutes. Leads that are not followed up within 5 minutes go cold. The average customer must be followed up with 5 to 7 times before booking. So I think someone had mentioned that earlier. You know, a lot of their leads are just not turning into booked appointments, right? Like, generating quality leads that lead to sits. They seem to get a lot of prospects online, but they don't convert into appointments. One of the things that you want to look at, Demeric, is your speed to lead. Like, how quickly are you getting to those leads, right? And how many times are you following up with those leads? Another part of it is that today's customers, they really prefer to interact via text, right? Versus phone call or email. An inbound call to your company when someone is actually looking for your services, they know they have a need, you know, they'll make that inbound call. But a lot of times, especially with web forms on Facebook or on Google Ads, they may be at work searching the web, right? They may not be available for a phone call. So, you know, you need to have marketing automation in place that leads to that leads to a higher conversion rate. So by leveraging marketing automation, you can follow up with web forms within the first 2 minutes. The system that we use, Contractor Boost, we're following up within 20, 30 seconds. So with phone, with email, with text messaging, automating that follow-up so every prospect gets touched 5, 7 times and is able to interact back with you through two-way messaging. Tanner said, I see this happen a ton. It may take 5 calls just to get them on the phone. I'll text if they do not answer. Exactly. So make the phone call, leave the voicemail, text them that you left a voicemail, then send them an email that you sent them a text and left them a voicemail, right? Increase your odds, right? Increase the odds, increase the opportunity, the chance that you're going to get that. And Tanner, how often do you get replied to via that text? Drop that in the chat, because I would guess that it would probably be pretty high, right? The open rate on text messages is something crazy, like 97%, right? So, 75% of the time they just text back. So, you know, it's very important to be doing this, and you can do it in an automated way. Like I said, we have a system that we provide our clients that's called Contractor Boost AI. There's other systems out there that you can use, But any of the leads that are coming into your business, right? So we've cast that wide net. We're generating leads from multiple lead sources to create that consistent lead flow. Google local services ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, buying leads from lead aggregators like HomeAdvisor, all these things come into the same funnel. I had a gentleman on my podcast. If you haven't checked the podcast out, it's Roofing Success. Check out Roofing Success podcast. There's an episode with a guy named Jason Phillips from Phillips Home Improvements down in Dallas, and he was talking about how he's built a call center for his business essentially, right? And a lot of times as contractors, we miss out on the first sale that happens. So Tanner says we use high level. So our contractor boost is a high level, is built on high level. It's just we built a lot of functionality within that system for roofing contractors. So same thing. It's a great system. So now Jason Phillips has this call center, and he's talking about there's two different sales that need to be made. And this is for everyone here too on Instagram. It's you got to think about this. The first sale is the sale of the appointment. The second sale is the sale of the roof or the siding or exterior, remodeling project, right? Like the first sale is the sale of an appointment. I like to talk about this in terms of like, we're in Minnesota, right? I told you Minnesota right now. My furnace goes out today. I go to Google, I type in, HVAC company near me, furnace repair near me, something like that. I go and I start calling companies. The first person that I get on the phone that I feel comfortable with, that books an appointment with, that says, hey, yeah, we'll be out in 2 hours. We'll be out in 6 hours. We'll be out there tomorrow, whatever that is. The first person that books that call, I feel like my problem is solved, right? We have to understand the psychology of the homeowner. When you have a booked appointment, you feel like your problem is being solved. Now, when they come out and they give me a quote and I look at the quote and I'm like, whoa, that was a lot more than I thought it would be. And they didn't, provide me with the enough value in their sales presentation to justify that. Maybe I start calling other companies, right? But I feel like my problem is solved when the appointment is booked. So the goal is to get to appointment booked as fast as possible, right? So somebody fills out a form online, Google ads, Facebook ads, whatever it is, you start sending them text messages, emails, starting communicating with, asking them, set up a self-scheduling system where they can, hey, if you I haven't heard from you, but here's a link to just schedule on our calendar and we'll come out and take a peek. So in those automations, in that automated follow-up, using systems like Contractor Boost and others, you can really increase the amount of leads that you're getting and the amount of leads that you're converting. So I know this is kind of a crazy example, right? But if you had 100 leads coming into your business into your roofing business with a 30% close rate with no follow-up or little follow-up, $10,000 average job, that's $300,000 in revenue. From the same leads, right? From the same amount of leads, if we can increase that conversion rate, I know 70% is kind of high. It's a little bit crazy, but if we increase that to 70%, that's $700,000 of revenue from the same leads. And what I mentioned up front is that the customer who can pay the most for the company that can pay the most for a customer will win. And this is how they win. They win in that conversion rate. They win in making sure that they are able to turn one lead into many, right? Getting their sign in the yard, knocking the neighbors, getting referrals in, building a relationship with that insurance agent, and all of those things along the way increases that long-term value. But up front, booking that appointment quickly, following up with those people multiple times, you're paying the same amount, right? So if we're saying, this person here is investing, let's say 100 leads at $100, right? That's 10, they both invested $10,000. One generated $300,000 in revenue. One generated $700,000 in revenue, right? By just getting a few things right. So if you can do that, you can make every lead you generate more valuable. An example of a company that has done this exceptionally this year is MHI Roofing out of Pittsburgh, based out of Pittsburgh. Meredith Home Improvements, Ty Meredith, John Broche. They're in Pittsburgh, Morgantown, West Virginia, and now down in Florida, working down in Florida, and they've had a 40% decrease in lead flow year over year. What would that do to your business? A 40% decrease in lead flow year over year, right? They are up 20% in revenue with 40% less leads. How? They're doing everything we're talking about today. They understand the goals that they need to hit. They understand the marketing message. They understand how to communicate with their market. They are putting many lines in the water using an omnipresent framework that we preach and talk about. And then they're maximizing the conversion rate of everything that comes in. In June of this year, they had a 62% close rate on their leads, right? That's insane. On average, they're closing in the mid 50s. And that's because they're doing all of these little things. And it's really, a lot of it is in the way that they're speaking to the customers' fears, understanding who they're speaking with, and really being proactive in their follow-up, but using automation, right? Using automation in a lot of cases. So, drop something into the chat. What did you learn on Instagram here? Drop a comment. If you've been listening here for a little bit, drop a comment. What comes to mind? What's top of mind? What did you learn? What did you notice? What's something that you'd like to share? I need to set a goal, Tanner said. And it's so important. Did you have a goal for 2022, Tanner? It just changes, like only in this for 3 months so far. So, man, it's important, right? Like it doesn't take much. Kyle said making sure the website is optimized for conversion, right? It's such an important factor because so many people will visit your website. And one of the things, just a quick tip for everyone, a quick tip for you is that the second most visited page on every website is the About Us page. So what can you do on your About Us page, right? What can you do on your About Us page that tells your story, that tells the story of all your team members, that everyone in nice pictures in the polos with the logo, and building trust on that is really important, and continuing that through your website, right? Tanner said, I'm new and love it so far, man. The roofing industry, it's not something that a lot of people really hope to join, but when you get in it, man, it's an amazing place to be. It is an amazing place to be. So welcome, Tanner. Welcome to the roofing industry. So the next thing that we want to talk about, and what really kind of pulls all of it together, right, is knowing and tracking your KPIs, your key performance indicators. So what we want to do is track all of the lead flow that we're getting on an ongoing basis and by source. It's challenging when you're doing what we refer to as multi-channel marketing, right? When you're posting on Facebook, doing Facebook ads, you're posting on your Instagram, you have trucks on the road, wrap trucks on the road, you have signs in the yard, you're doing SEO for your website, you're running Google ads, Google local services ads, you're doing all these things. Maybe you have some billboards. It becomes challenging from an attribution perspective, right? Because someone may see you on Facebook, like see a social media post, and they go, oh man, let me go to their website and check them out. And then, well, let me check their reviews on their Google business profile. And so they go there, and then they make the call from there, right? Like there's so many ways that people could come into and do that. But the best thing to do is through call tracking and lead form tracking, understanding where these leads are coming from. So like, for example, this company here, their Google business profile used to be known as Google My Business. They had leads coming in from there. Then from organic search on their website, they had leads coming in from there. They had leads coming in from Google ads and Facebook ads and different Facebook offers, right? One was a warranty offer. One was a low interest financing offer. One was a Tilcor steel roof offer, right? There's so many different ways that you could do this. So tracking those leads on an ongoing basis is extremely important. At the very minimum, use a call tracking software. CallRail, call tracking metrics. Those are some great, simple options that you can use to at least track where things are coming from. On the other side of that, you can get more sophisticated, like our Contractor Boost software and things like that even adds to the ability to track everything. But so far, we've set a clear goal and target. We've developed some clarity around your market, your message, and your media. We've made sure our website and lead flow process is optimized for conversions, and we've set up some simple KPI tracking. Right, we're setting up some call tracking, things like that. So now let's talk about the key trends going into, and I know it says 2022, but is into leaving 2022 and into 2023. First of all, we have to have an all-in perspective. Omnipresence is it. If you're a roofing business owner, go to our website, roofermarketers.com, and get a copy of our book, The Best Known Roofer. It's we outline the omnipresent framework for your roofing business. Search engine optimization, Google ads, local service ads, social media, Facebook, TikTok, all of this, an all in perspective. Making sure you got the signs in the yards, maybe doing direct mail to the neighbors, all of these little pieces, that all in perspective. Doing one thing will not get you there. I'm sure you've had, plenty of emails in your inbox that say, hey, can you handle 5 to 10 new jobs, this month, right? Or this week? Just use us, just give us, we'll do some Facebook ads for you. We'll do some pay-per-click for you. That one channel will not get you there. It will not get you to your goals. So having an all-in perspective. So the other part of it is video, and more video, and using artificial intelligence. All Google ads nowadays are using artificial intelligence. All of them. We're using Google's machine learning to help determine who the ads should be shown to and who converts and all of that. Facebook, the same thing, right? It's all artificial intelligence on the back end. So utilizing that artificial intelligence, understanding how to utilize it, and making sure that you're doing that. So now build your plan for 2023. What are your top three goals? What are the top 3 things that you want to accomplish in 2023? And so now we're kind of coming to the end here. I'm trying to keep it consistent with time and within the hour that we have. If you'd like us to help you give us a call, right? You can call us directly, go to or you could go to our website and book a call. On the call right now, we have Don and Nikki. Send them a message. Hey, can you give me a call at this number, whatever it is, and we'll get you guys there. If you're on Instagram Live here, go to roofermarketers.com, schedule a call with us. So in doing that, like, we really have a mission to help more roofing contractors generate more revenue through their digital marketing efforts. We do that through our agency, and we do that through this educational series. So I'm here to answer any questions. I still see we have a lot of people on the call today. So if anyone has any questions, drop it in the chat, unmute. Let's have a conversation. I'll be able to, take some more time with you here. If no one has any questions, I hope that you found value in this today. Also, on a weekly basis, we're putting out new episodes of the Roofing Success Podcast. It's where I interview roofing contractors who have found success in their roofing business. We talk about the lessons they've learned. We talk about the things that they've done well. It's extremely impactful for your business. In hearing from others, right? Hearing what their struggles are. Sometimes we feel in business, we feel all alone. Sometimes we feel all alone, but it's nice to hear the perspectives and the challenges that other people have faced. So Rainer Paulino on Instagram said, best podcast for roofers. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. So any questions, drop them in the chat, unmute, be happy to answer anything for you.
Have you seen, obviously TikTok is a new platform, and I definitely need this generation, but have you seen decent lead generation coming out of like TikTok and YouTube, or is that more just getting your impressions and getting your brand out, and the leads are coming from websites and stuff like that?
Yeah, I would say TikTok is more brand impressions, but those brand impressions lead to business, right? The people get to know you, and they get to know your personality, and if you also within that short form content express what you do, right? People will pick up on that. Oh yeah, you do this. All right, cool. And the more times they see you, the better. There are some companies doing it well. I know MHI Roofing is doing TikTok very well. They check out some of their reps. They're doing a lot of great TikTok videos, and it leads to it does lead to business. It's not as targeted as you can get, right? Like with I don't know, with Facebook, it's not as geographically targeted sometimes, but boy, it gets your content in front of people who are interested in your content. It is extremely, the algorithm for that is extremely powerful. So is that helpful, Kyle?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my focus in the company is just media and marketing. We recently just kind of invested in me to take over and do that. So I'm trying to expand across all platforms, and I haven't started posting on TikTok yet, but I just was wondering if you'd seen benefit coming out of that. I know it's a new platform.
Yeah, so with TikTok, a lot of times you could TikTok and YouTube Shorts, right, are kind of a similar thing, and Facebook and Instagram Reels and things like that. They're all kind of that similar style. One of the things that we like to do at Roofer Marketers for our own business, and it is we utilize the content that we have on all of our social media platforms, right? So we just edit it a little bit differently for each platform, right? So it's not as challenging, like, oh man, we have to do TikTok content every day, then we have to do Facebook content, and we have to do Instagram content, and we have to do LinkedIn content, and we have to, like, if you can develop content and then just kind of change it up a little bit, right? Cut it vertically if you're doing some video editing and things like that, right? Edit it vertically for those types of platforms, and put out some short form stuff. And then you could take some of the other stuff and put it on put it on Facebook, and put it on Instagram and different things like that. So just understanding the platform, but starting with content that you are already creating to get going, right? That gets you going. Then down the road, you could fix it. And, phase 2, do something better, right? I like in business, phase 1, do something. Phase 2, do something a little better than that. Phase 3, do something better than that, right? So the first thing is to do it and then start evaluating from there. Tanner said, commercial roofing is what I'm doing. I know most stuff going over is residential. Do you help out commercial roofing companies? We do. From a digital perspective, it's a little bit more challenging, right? Commercial roofing is very relationship based. But a lot of those relationships that you're developing, they'll go back and look at your website and see if it's, if you look like a professional company, right? They may look at your reviews. You're probably not going to have as many reviews in a 100% commercial roofing company than you would with a residential mix in there or more residential on that. But it is that social proof. The other thing about commercial roofing is understanding the channels, right? People don't search for commercial roofing as much as residential roofing, right? People type in roofing companies into Google 60,500 times a month on average, US, nationwide. People type in commercial roofing companies, I think it's like, it might be 12,000 at the most, right? It might even be 2,100. I'll have to check the stats here. Let me see. Commercial roofing companies. Commercial roofing companies get searched. All right, it's pulling it up here. Commercial roofing companies. Yeah, it's like 2,100 times a month, right? So understanding where your customer base is, right? They're in their office. they're down the hall from the other property manager, right? The relationships are going to be more impactful. But if they go to your website and it does not showcase commercial roofing, it does not showcase projects that you've actually worked on. If it doesn't, it's just not. It can be less impactful, right? So you can still use that hub to help your conversion rates, but understand that you're probably not going to get tons of phone calls through your SEO efforts through commercial roofing. Is that helpful, Tanner? Awesome, man. Cool. Any other questions from anyone? Jonathan, you're on here. Anything from you, man?
Yeah. What's the most common challenges that smaller companies end up having to deal with when they don't have when they're trying to do marketing in-house? And it doesn't necessarily have to be in marketing, but even like understanding or not understanding algorithms and funneling their reach. What do you see in companies like that?
Yeah. So for everyone listening here that didn't hear, smaller, what the question was is what challenges do smaller companies face, right? So the first thing that smaller companies face is time and money. Those are the two biggest challenges, right? Like you're wearing a lot of hats, so you don't have as much time, and you're not doing a whole lot of revenue, so you don't have a lot of money to invest in marketing. So in those beginning stages, a lot of times you have to understand that it's going to take activity, right? You may have to put effort into door knocking. You may have to put effort into, relationship building and things like that to lay the foundation for the future, right? What we do, we have what we call our foundations package, which is pretty much the same website that we build for the $10-15 million company. And then Google Business Profile Optimization. And that's laying that foundation. And then it's kind of a hustle as a small company, right? You're hustling for work, friends, families, people all of that, making sure that everyone knows what you're doing. On the other side of that, the challenge is if you do start to generate a good amount of lead flow, the challenge that I see is that appointment setting, right? you're on a roof, you're you're at a project, you know, managing the production, you're giving, you know, you're in a sales appointment with a customer, you're at, you know, ABC Supply picking things up, you're doing things all the time. So that initial communication gets lost. It's crazy to me. A lot of the small contractors, they don't do well with like Home Advisor leads, but a lot of the big companies do, right? And the reason they do is because they have systems and processes for that lead flow to come through their business. Someone's always answering the phone, starting to make phone calls and text messages, and they're doing activities right away. In the early stages, you don't have that, right? So you're short on money and you're short on time. That's the challenge. So when you bring that in-house, there are a lot of things for you to know in terms of marketing, right? Like it's so when you bring that person in-house, you probably don't have the salary to pay a really highly proficient marketing professional. And so you know, you're paying someone who may understand social media or may understand, you know, SEO and they try to piece everything else together, and it just doesn't come together well. So focus on automating some of that upfront, maybe hiring a call answering service to take those inbound leads. That's something that you could do that's not extremely expensive. It's not a perfect solution a lot of times, but it's at least better than you not answering the phone. That type of stuff really helps. And then, man, it's use your time wisely, beat the streets, and really generate revenue organically, and reinvest into your business. In a startup phase, if you're able to take, you know, between 5 and 10% of your revenue and invest that back into marketing, boy, that's an impactful thing. Ray on Instagram here said, my business, we don't feel obligated to work with TikTok. Is that a problem? No, man, work with whoever. Put content out on whatever social media platform you feel comfortable with. I know that, you know, there's some challenging things about TikTok, right? So if you don't want to post there, don't post there, right? There's no, for everyone, these are your businesses, right? You know, make your business decisions on how you want to, you know, where you want to be, the same way that you would, probably not sponsor an event that you don't feel passionate about, or actually feel opposite of passion about, right? Like, you know, but if there's something in your community that you feel passionate about, you know, go out and sponsor that event, go out and be there. Those are those things that you can do to really get your name and brand out there. So anyone else? Awesome. Well, we're about 12:10 here, a little bit over time. So hopefully we got everyone's questions answered. Appreciate everyone's time today. Again, if you need anything, reach out to us, schedule an appointment, talk to Don, see how we can help you in your business. And you know, check out the Roofing Success podcast. Appreciate your Roofscapes. Yep, no problem. We do this every month. So talk to everyone soon. Have a great day.